beginner, you go out and give them 100% positive evaluations. You don't give them negatives at all. You feel that this person has come to Toastmasters about 5-6 meetings, you now slowly up the ante. You give them a mix of both good and bad, positive and negative structures. When you know there is a DTM who's coming there, your mind is already telling you, go on and tell all those negatives. Find a way to inflict pain. Make sure that you are able to prove yourselves better. Now I thought these are all nice and effective techniques, but necessarily, if you see, a beginner also needs feedback and a DTM also probably needs appreciation from you. Can we try and mix and match this somewhere? That's where the next point comes from. The difference between useless criticism and constructive negative feedback. I was watching a Google's thinking design conference and they were trying to change the thinking style that individuals have. They came up with this technique called saying yes and versus no but. Okay? So we are all highly trained creatures, intellectual creatures. We often instinctively go into the, let me point out the flaws in your idea first. If you talk to me, Satish or Ramalingam, you probably see that coming a lot. We're all very process-oriented people, right? We don't mean to inflict damage to you, but our minds are running in a positive framework where you're saying, hey, I need to improve something into them. Hey, I need to do this. This is my role. This is my responsibility. Our minds are always thinking about how we can add value to yourself, right? We shut down ideas sometimes instead of building on them. I don't know about Satish and Ramalingam, I do. And I shut down Mala's ideas and I get slapped for it. Theoretically, right? Not practically. Don't imagine that. It's not a good imagination. So we say no, but, and continue the statement. Google's design thinking made everybody try something different, and the technique was to use yes and. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a sentence, and in a round robin fashion, four of the audience here are going to try and use the first technique, no but. Okay? Meraki meetings should be at 7 AM in the morning. Satish, start with no but.
No, but it at times makes me wake up early.
Okay. Someone else? No but.
No, but I can't really wake up at 7 AM in the morning.
Okay. Someone else? No but.
No, but I have already on Saturday. I could make it.
Okay. Now quickly, we're going to try and change this to yes and. So Meraki meetings should be at 7 AM in the morning. Vijay.
Yes, and it cultivates self-discipline and all of it.
Okay. Someone else? Yes and.
Yes, it gives me a lot of time to spend after the meeting.
Okay. Someone else? Yes and.
The early bird always catches.
Okay. Someone else? Yes.
Yes, and I think that, starting early in the morning, we have a lot of energy.
Okay. Let's put another perspective. Let's take Toastmasters out. Tamil Nadu government probably can come up with more interactive things to do in the society. Yes and. Start with it. Yes and. Anyone?
Yes, and I hope it happens sometime.
Super. What else?
Yes, and that's a very good dream to have.
Okay. What else?
Yes, and it's a very courageous thing to do.
Okay. I want you to now try with no but.
No, but they are not courageous enough to do it immediately.
Okay. No but.
No, but I don't think it's practically possible.
Okay. No but.
No, but are you stupid? Will it ever happen?
I want you to look at the words that these people used the minute they said no but. Stupid. Impractical. You see what our mind does to ourselves when we bring out a negative connotation right in the beginning of something. This is what Google was trying to prove. They said when you're thinking design, if you start with negatives, your thinking is going to become negative. You start with positive, your thinking is going to be positive. And you'd be surprised how small a change this is, but a large outcome it can produce. So train yourselves to say yes and. When you look at your speaker and the speaker has said something and you don't agree with that point, say yes and then try and say something that they can change. Instead of saying, no, but you know what, I did not like it. Instantly you're adding negativity to it, right? Yes and acknowledges the idea and builds on it. Very importantly, you agree with what the speaker says and then say, why don't we probably try and change it? If you don't do it, then you're going to be looking like me, a cashew nut who's trying to prove a point every time and saying, I'm intellectually stronger than you. Right? Let's move on. Let's wrap up now. We tried that out, so let's start wrapping up. So what should be included in a good evaluation? Now this is just my opinion, it can change. Feedback needs to be explicitly stated. A lot of times when feedback is given, you don't know if it was feedback. They sidewise brush it off on you. And you come back and you're like, that was a nice evaluation, but what did you try to do in me? I'm still trying to think of that. Right? What was well done and why needs to be emphasized. What is well done needs to definitely be told so that the speaker comes back to the fraternity. If you say why, he can come back as a better speaker, right? Where there is room for improvement and why. Another very important aspect, right? But most importantly, what steps to take to improve. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters is a mutually supportive environment. The only way we are able to build ourselves is by helping someone else. How can you possibly climb up the ladder when someone can't push you down from there? So every time you evaluate, tell them something that happened in your life that could probably change them. If you see a speaker do a mistake that you did, tell them, you know what, I completely see where you're coming from. When I was doing Project 3, I vividly remember I did this mistake and I was struggling for a long time as to how I can improvise it. This is what I did, right? What happens here is instead of your evaluation being all about yourself, you're now talking about what it can be for the other person. Instead of you just trying to paint the pot black, you're able to now paint it white by saying, this is how I did it, maybe you can give it a try, right? So you are predominantly taking out this aspect that you are supreme than that person, but you are equal by telling, hey, I did it this way, why don't you try and do it with me, alright? Good feedback should be fair, honest and clear, no doubt about it, right? Now every time you speak, ask yourself the subtle question, am I being honest? If you ask this question, your evaluation is going to change. Because now when we sit here to evaluate Romana's speech, I have a peer pressure that's building saying, Romana is the world champion, so maybe I should only say good things about her. And then the peer pressure that Srini will record this and put it on Facebook and Romana herself will see it. So I'm asking myself, I don't think it's really a good idea to tell all the right things. Maybe tell things that are only good. So I made up my mind before coming here, you know, I need to stand up with what I'm trying to say here as well. I'm going to try and tell everything that Romana said well in the later part of the section, but when I think something needs to be changed, I'm going to say, this is my opinion. The world might disagree, but I thought she could have done this differently. That way you're going to be a little more honest. And the last question I want you to ask yourself in this segment is, am I being responsible? Ladies and gentlemen, as Toastmasters, you're given a good job, a job of being an evaluator. Meaning you are instantly becoming a mentor for the 3 minutes. Whatever you say can shape or break the next speech a speaker is going to give. There have been times when I've been given evaluations during my early ages in Toastmasters and I've not gone back to the club for a couple of times. Not because I thought I was a bad speaker, but because I was embarrassed enough that I thought, you know, I don't want to show my face up next. We do that often to people as well. And you know what we think when we do it? We think that we have been better at it. So speak what is true for you, speak from your heart and talk about the impact of the person's actions on you. When giving feedback, ask yourself, for what purpose am I providing this feedback? You ask the why and you probably have the answer to everything else that comes. Sometimes your purpose is honorable and appropriate, yet your feedback is focused on the recipient performing a specific behavior. Now this is something that I catch myself doing often. I want to remind you that a behavior that you find easy to do, but the recipient may feel that this is too perspective or not feasible or to be acceptable. It's absolutely fine for two individuals in a room to have totally contradicting views. If you thought the speaker should have done something, say it, but don't expect that they implement it or that they should have done it that way. It's their way of looking at things, right? Now these are some things that you probably need to keep in mind. Don't over-glorify a speech. It's doing no good to you and to the speaker. Don't give contradicting views. You start by saying, I loved your speech. And then you go on to say, and you know what, you could have changed all of this. Then why did you love my speech? You probably should say, I loved the way in which you spoke, but your content did not match here, right? Don't just say things. Give an example and show how you can do it. Don't make it about you. Make it about the speaker. You're not the hero there. You're someone who's portifying and glorifying the hero there, right? Speaker needs to come back and more importantly as a better speaker. Your objective is those two things. Specific, measurable, accurate and realistic time-bound evaluations probably will take you one step bigger than the speaker itself. Every time I come on stage to evaluate, the first thing that strikes me is a peer pressure. I want you to go back home today and start practicing with the Google technique. It's a subtle way in which your mind changes. And then think of how people like Roger Bannister did something so different, but yet were able to prove a point. And then slowly remember, evaluations need not be like the one that they are prescribed in Toastmasters. Evaluations need not be formal, professional. And more importantly, it need not be structured for you to have a template, opening, a body at the beginning and an end. Come there, practice like you practice with a below feathered person, and understand if this is a feedback that you want to ask yourself. Because I oftentimes feel the best feedbacks that we received are off stage. It's probably time we start cultivating them on stage. Thank you so much.